One of the most remarkable aspects of Adventism was the extreme reluctance in its early years to adopt any organizational structure above the local level. The Adventist Church has, however, gradually developed into one of the most tightly organized religious movements in the world. It claims to have a democratic structure, with the local church at its basis. But it cannot be denied that the Adventist administrative structure has, in actual fact, become more and more hierarchical, with a de facto steadily increasing power of the President of the World Church. William Johnson, prominent Adventist author and scholar, pointed out that we notice more and more how authority in the Adventist Church no longer flows from the bottom to the top, but rather from the top to the bottom. This led him to repeat the question George Knight asked in 2017, how Catholic do we really want to be?
God has not set any kingly power in the Seventh-day Adventist Church to control the whole body or to control any branch of the work. He has not provided that the burden of leadership shall rest upon a few men. Responsibilities are distributed among a large number of competent men. Every member of the church has a voice in choosing officers of the church. The church chooses the officers of the state conferences. Delegates chosen by the state conferences choose the officers of the union conferences, and delegates chosen by the union conferences choose the officers of the general conference. By this arrangement, every conference, every institution, every church, and every individual, either directly or through representatives, has a voice in the election of the men who bear the chief responsibilities in the General Conference.
We find another remarkable parallel in the sphere of dogma. In the Catholic Church, the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith, that is since 2022 the new name for what was known as the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. This then, the dicastery, serves as the guard dog for the purity of doctrine and the correct application of church discipline. The Adventist Church has experienced a remarkable development with regard to its body of doctrines and its intensifying determination to protect official Adventist teaching. The early Adventists did not follow most other denominations in formulating a formal creed. But over time, the Adventist Church decided to create a statement of what is now 28 fundamental beliefs, which in actual practice functions very much as a creed. While Adventists will emphatically and consistently argue that the Bible is their only source of their theology, those with any knowledge of historical theology will acknowledge that Adventist theologians never worked in a theological and philosophical vacuum and had no immunity against the various theological traditions that influenced them. Since 1975, the Biblical Research Institute, located at the church's headquarters office, plays a crucial role in defining and safeguarding Adventist doctrine.
When God's Word is studied, comprehended, and obeyed, a bright light will be reflected to the world. New truths received and acted upon will bind us in strong bonds to Jesus. The Bible and the Bible alone is to be our creed, the sole bond of union. All who bow to this holy word will be in harmony. Our own views and ideas must not control our efforts. Man is fallible, but God's word is infallible. Instead of wrangling with one another, let man exalt the Lord. Let us meet all opposition as did our Master, saying, "It is written." Let us lift up the banner on which is inscribed, "The Bible, our rule of faith and discipline."
The doctrine of papal infallibility, which was promulgated during Vatican I, has been heavily criticized by Protestants in general and by Adventists in particular. But although official Adventism does not ascribe to any infallibility and inerrancy to Ellen G. White, many church members are convinced that her prophetic endowment ensured that her writings are not only theologically, but also historically and scientifically correct.
God is either teaching his church, reproving their wrongs, and strengthening their faith, or he is not. This work is of God, or it is not. God does nothing in partnership with Satan. My work bears the stamp of God or the stamp of the enemy. There is no halfway work in the matter. The testimonies are of the Spirit of God or of the devil.
And in my view, unfortunate common aspect of Catholicism and Adventism is the continued refusal to give women their rightful and biblically mandated place in the church. In the controversy about the ordination of female pastors, time and again church leadership claimed that once a decision has been reached in a convocation of the global church, this must be obeyed as the final word on that particular issue.
There is no biblical support for women pastors, elders, and not even deacons. Mr. Bruinsma makes a statement using the reasoning from a feminist mindset while he rejects the gift of prophecy given to our church through a woman named Ellen G. White. The roles granted by our Creator to men only, Mr. Bruinsma attempts with his filthy hands to give those to women. Bruinsma, at the same time, rejects the gift given by our Creator to a woman and pretends that he now has the authority to direct the church and ignore that gift of prophecy. Arrogant blasphemy.
Together with other Christians, Catholics and Adventists face the immense task of sharing Christ's love and the divine grace with a postmodern, ever more biblically illiterate, utterly materialistic, and deeply secular world. In spite of all our differences, we are partners in fulfilling the commission Christ gave his followers before he left this world. So then, what can Roman Catholics learn from Seventh-day Adventists? In his book, Catholics and Protestants, Peter Kreeft, professor of philosophy at Boston College, suggested that Protestants may err by seeing too little in Catholicism, and he confesses that as a Catholic, he may also run the risk of seeing too little in Protestantism. I surmise that Adventists have focused on what they consider wrong in Roman Catholicism and have thereby often failed to see the many good things in the Catholic Church of the past and the present. This is also true for another element of stewardship, financial aspect. The Catholic Church and the Adventist Church are both rich in terms of real estate, but they often struggle to find the funds for the day-to-day running of their congregations and the operation of their organization. For this, they must mostly depend on the continued generosity of their members. Here also, the principle of stewardship is of prime importance. After experimenting with another method called systematic benevolence, Adventists adopted the biblical tithing system. The strong and persistent promotion of the tithing system has resulted in a much stronger financial structure than most denominations have.
But Romanism as a system is no more in harmony with the gospel of Christ now than at any former period in her history. The Protestant churches are in great danger, or they would discern the signs of the times. The Roman Church is far-reaching in her plans and modes of operation. She is employing every device to extend her influence and increase her power in preparation for fierce and determined conflict to regain control of the world, to re-establish persecution, and to undo all that Protestantism has done.